I thought my neighbor hated me until I found out what he was hiding. Every morning, he stared at me through his window without saying a word, and whenever I walked past his house, he immediately closed the curtains. I assumed he just didn't like me. Then one night, I heard a loud crash coming from his garage. I went outside and saw him dragging a heavy black suitcase toward his car. He froze when he saw me. "Go inside," he said. "Why?" I asked. He just stared at me and replied, "Because if they see you, you're in danger too." I thought he was crazy, so I went back inside and called the police. But before they arrived, my doorbell rang. It was him. He handed me an envelope and whispered, "If anything happens to me, give this to the police." Then he drove away. 10 minutes later, two men in a black SUV stopped outside his house. They went inside. I immediately called the police again, but when officers arrived, the house was empty. My neighbor was gone. So was the suitcase. The next morning, I opened the envelope. Inside was a photograph of me sleeping in my bedroom. I nearly dropped it. There were dozens more pictures showing my apartment, my car, and my daily routine. I thought my neighbor had been spying on me, but then I noticed something terrifying. Every photo had been taken from outside my window. Someone had been watching both of us. The police traced the images to a hidden camera across the street. My neighbor hadn't been avoiding me because he hated me. He had discovered someone was watching my apartment and deliberately stayed away so they wouldn't realize he knew. 3 days later, the police arrested the two men from the SUV. They were investigating me because someone had stolen money from their company using my identity. My neighbor had found the evidence by accident and spent months trying to protect me without telling me. When he finally came back, I asked, "Why didn't you just tell me?" He looked at me and said, "Because the moment you knew, they would have known you knew too." I spent a year thinking my neighbor hated me, when the entire time, he was the only person watching my back.